Welcome friends, now we will discuss some advantages and disadvantages of star delta starters. So let's discuss first advantages of star delta starters. Number 1. Star delta starters are widely used due to their relatively low price. So the cost of star delta starter is quite less. So most industries are preferring to use star delta starter as one of the methods to limit the starting current. Number 2, there are no limits to the number of times they can be operated. So these star data starters are quite robust and they can use several times, many times, so without any limit. The components require very little space, so space requirement is also low. The starting current is reduced to approximately one third, so the current is reduced to one third. Disadvantage of star data starters. Number 1, starter can only be applied to motors where the 6 leads or terminals can be accessed, because we are changing over the connections outside of the motor, so we need 6 leads. So if any motor available in the field have only 3 leads coming out of the motor, it's difficult to apply this method. The supply voltage must be the same as the rated motor voltage for delta connections. So for example, if you have an ordered motor, or you have a motor who is connected by default in star, and it is not recommended by manufacturer to use in delta, or other words, the motor can, for example, if the line voltage are 415 and motor is connected in star and it is designed to face the phase ground voltages only, insulation is designed in such a way that you cannot use this method, because if you connect, you will apply delta full line voltages across each winding, and it will burn the insulation, it will burn the motor. So before applying the solution in the field, you have to check also the rating of the motor. Because the starting current is reduced to approximately one third of the rated current, the starting torque is also reduced to one third. So we are reducing the starting current, so the starting torque is also reduced. So in applications where heavy starting torque is required, so this solution has some problems, so we can't use it. Number 4, if the motor does not reach at least 90% of its rated speed at the time of switching from star to delta, the current peak will be as high as in DOL start, thus causing harmful effects to contacts of the contactor, and the connection systems brings no advantage to the electrical system. So this is also very important point, that if star delta starter we have installed it, but before before we are allowing motor to reach its 90% of the speed, we are converting it to back to delta. The surge will be the same as the surge in case of direct online, means you are not doing any method to start the motor, directly you are plugging in and starting, so it will be the same. And it means, in another word, if you employ it and your timer setting is not correct, so the starter has no meaning. So you need to focus and check this point very carefully when you're using star delta starters. So we will see now advantage of star delta starter once again. So it's good torque current performance. If you take the ratio between torque and current, it's good performance. It draws 2 times starting current of the full load ampere of the motor connected. If we start the motor with dual or simple starter, the motor requires more current to start, which is 6 to 8 times the full load current, because the higher torque is required to start the motor, and then motor after starts get full speed and star connected is disconnected and motor run in delta connections, because torque is less and lower current is required. Number 3, the operation of star delta method is simple and rugged. Number 4, it is relatively cheap compared to other reduced voltage methods. Disadvantages: low starting torque, only 33% starting torque, break in supply, possible transient 6 terminal motor, Required delta connection. It required two sets of cables from stator to motor. The delta of motor is formed in star and not on motor terminal. Application with load torque higher than 50% of the motor rated torque will not be able to start using a star delta starter. Low starting torque reduction of line voltage by factor of 103, 57.7% to the motor, and the current is reduced to 1 by 3 of the current at full voltage, but the starting torque is also reduced to 1 by 3 times, 1 by 5 times of the dual starting technique. So these are the some advantages and disadvantages. So thank you very much.